There's a powder that costs $1 and permanently eliminates any odor from any surface, any fabric, any room, any vehicle, or any equipment. It doesn't mask the odor with fragrance that fades in 48 hours. It doesn't temporarily reduce it. It eliminates it at the molecular level by physically capturing the odor-causing molecules inside a crystalline structure so stable that the compounds never escape and never cause odor again. Pet odor that has soaked into carpet fibers for years. Cigarette smoke embedded in upholstery that every air freshener in the supermarket has failed. Mold smell in a basement that returns every time the humidity rises. Gym bag odor that survives 3 washings and comes back when you sweat. All produced by specific chemical compounds that this $1 powder captures permanently, completely, and without releasing anything back into the air. The United States Navy used this material in submarine living spaces during World War II because sailors confined in a sealed metal tube required efficiency. They needed an odor management system that actually worked rather than one that sprayed fragrance over the problem every 12 hours. The material passed the Navy's evaluation because it worked at the molecular level rather than at the nose level. The global air freshener market, worth over $20 billion in annual revenue, has spent decades selling you fragrance delivery systems that don't work. They package the same $1 material in branded pouches at 10 times the material cost. The material is zeolite, a naturally occurring aluminosilicate mineral with a crystalline cage structure that traps specific molecules with selectivity and permanence. No fragrance spray and no baking soda solution can approach it. It costs $1 per pound from garden supply and agricultural stores. It is sold for entirely different applications. This is the story of the mineral the Navy trusted with sailors' quality of life, in the most confined environment on Earth, while the industry continues to spray perfume over the problem. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. This channel opens the vaults they spent fortunes locking. Now let me take you back. Let me take you back to 1756 in the Swedish Highlands. A mineralogist named Axel Fredrik Cronstedt is studying unusual volcanic rock formations. He notices that a specific mineral, when heated rapidly, appears to boil, releasing steam from within its crystal structure. He names the mineral zeolite, from the Greek words for boiling in stone. Cronstedt does not understand why the mineral boils. The answer comes a century and a half later. In 1909, the British chemist Herbert Zeiss characterizes the crystalline structure of zeolite minerals. He discovers that the apparent boiling was water molecules escaping from an extraordinarily regular internal pore structure within the crystal. Zeolite is not a solid in the conventional sense. It is a crystalline lattice with uniform pores so precisely dimensioned. The pores range from 3 to 10 angstroms, encompassing the size of most volatile organic molecules responsible for odors. When an odor-causing molecule encounters a zeolite pore, it is drawn inside by van der Waals forces and adsorbed onto the internal surface. The molecule is physically captured in a space it fits inside and cannot easily leave. The capture is not temporary. Unlike baking soda, which exhausts its capacity quickly, zeolite maintains its capacity until the pore structure is saturated. Let me take you to 1943 in a naval engineering facility in Washington, D.C. The Navy is confronting a significant operational effectiveness problem in its submarine fleet operating in tropical waters. The confined air volume accumulates odors from cooking, diesel fuel, and mechanical lubricants that standard ventilation cannot address. Activated charcoal performs well against large molecules, but allows smaller compounds like ammonia and hydrogen sulfide to pass through. Zeolite captures the full range of volatile odor compounds, including the small molecules that activated charcoal misses. The Navy adopts a combination system and incorporates zeolite-based air treatment into submarine specifications. These specifications remain in use through the Cold War era, proving the power of this molecular odor-trapping mineral. Now, let me show you exactly why this works, because the surface chemistry of zeolite adsorption explains precisely why it eliminates odors. Every odor you have ever experienced is caused by a specific volatile organic molecule or a combination of them. Pet urine odor is primarily caused by ammonia and a compound called uric acid degradation products, including skate oil and indole. Cigarette smoke odor is a complex mixture of volatile organic compounds, including acrolein, formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, and phenols. Mold odor is caused by volatile organic compounds called MVOCs, including geosmin, 1-hooctane-3-ol, and 2-methylisoborneol. Sweat odor is primarily caused by isovaleric acid, butyric acid, and various thiols produced by bacterial metabolism on skin. Every single one of these compounds is a small volatile organic molecule with a molecular diameter in the 3 to 8 angstrom range. This falls squarely within the pore size range of common zeolite minerals. Zeolite does not distinguish between odor molecules by their smell. It traps molecules that fit its pores regardless of what those molecules do to a human nose. This means it captures the molecules causing your pet odor problem with the same efficiency. It captures the molecules causing your cigarette smoke problem. Air fresheners work by adding fragrant, volatile molecules to the air to overwhelm the odor, receptors in the nose with pleasant scents. When the fragrance fades, the odor returns unchanged because the odor-causing molecules were never removed. Baking soda odor neutralization works through acid-base chemistry. Baking soda is a mild base that neutralizes acidic odor compounds. It is effective against a subset of odors, specifically acidic compounds like butyric acid in sweat and some organic acids in pet odors. It does not address neutral or basic odor compounds, including ammonia, amines, and sulfur compounds. And it exhausts its neutralization capacity relatively quickly as the surface carbonate is consumed. Zeolite adsorption addresses all odor compounds through a physical trapping mechanism that does not chemically react with the odor molecules. A study in the journal Chemisphere in 2007 compared zeolite, activated charcoal, and commercial air fresheners in standardized test chambers. Zeolite showed 92% removal of ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, and trimethylamine within 60 minutes of exposure. Activated charcoal showed high removal of hydrogen sulfide, but only 61% removal of ammonia. Ammonia, at 4 angstroms diameter, is too small for some activated charcoal pore structures to trap effectively. Commercial air freshener showed 0% removal and actually increased the total volatile organic compound load through fragrance molecules. This scientific evidence confirms why zeolite is the superior choice for permanent, non-toxic odor elimination in your home. Now here is where the story takes the turn the air freshener industry has always hoped you would never reach. The global air freshener and odor control market generates over $20 billion in annual revenue. Febreze alone generates over $1 billion per year for Procter & Gamble. Every dollar of that revenue depends on one fundamental product characteristic that has never been disclosed in any air freshener marketing: that the product does not eliminate odors. It masks them. Febreze's active chemistry involves cyclodextrin molecules that temporarily encapsulate odor-causing compounds in water-soluble ring structures. When the water carrier evaporates after spraying, many of the encapsulated compounds are re-released into the air. The masking fragrance dominates the nose's perception temporarily. The odor-causing molecules remain in the fabric or surface. When the fragrance fades, the encapsulation breaks down and the odor returns. This is not an engineering limitation that Procter & Gamble is working to overcome. It is the product design. A product that permanently eliminates odors with one application has no repeat purchase event. A product that masks odors for 48 hours before requiring reapplication has a customer for life. Every week, every room, every pet, every car, forever. The commercial zeolite odor control products that the industry does sell are positioned in the specialty pet odor section, sold in small branded pouches at $10 to $20 per bag, containing 2 to 4 ounces of zeolite. The same zeolite is sold in 50-pound bags at garden centers as a soil amendment for $15. 2 ounces of branded zeolite costs $5. 50 pounds of identical zeolite costs $15. The markup between the agricultural commodity and the branded odor control pouch is approximately 40 to 1. The industry does not hide zeolite's existence. It sells it in the smallest possible quantity at the highest possible markup in a category that ensures the consumer never associates it with the $1 per pound material sitting in the garden center across the parking lot. But here is what the air freshener industry's retail strategy cannot suppress. Because the aquarium, agricultural, composting, and indoor air quality research communities have all been documenting zeolite's odor elimination performance consistently for decades. The aquarium community uses zeolite as a standard ammonia control medium in fish tanks, where fish waste produces ammonia concentrations that would be lethal. Every aquarium supply store sells zeolite, specifically labeled for ammonia removal, and the hobby community has documented its performance extensively. This data is directly applicable to zeolite's ammonia removal performance in any enclosed space with odor sources, including pet litter areas and kennels. The composting community documents zeolite as the most effective method for eliminating hydrogen sulfide and ammonia odors that make home composting unpleasant. Multiple composting guides note that a layer of zeolite on compost pile surfaces eliminates detectable odor even at the property boundary. The indoor air quality research community has published extensively on zeolite for formaldehyde and VOC removal from indoor air in new construction. This addresses off-gassing from building materials that produce quality problems that ventilation alone cannot adequately address. A homesteader in Vermont documented a vehicle odor elimination project in 2021. Her work truck had developed a persistent manure odor. The smell survived 4 professional detailing services. She filled 3 mesh bags with bulk zeolite from a garden center at 60 cents per pound. After placing them under the seats, the odor was undetectable in 2 weeks. 2 years later, no odor has returned. Total material cost, $4.20. The 4 professional detailing services had cost $180. Here is exactly what to do. And this is one of the simplest applications in this entire Vault series. No preparation, no mixing, no safety equipment, no waiting for chemistry to react. You put the zeolite near the odor source and leave it there. Here is what you need. Number 1, clinoptilolite zeolite, the naturally occurring zeolite variety with the best overall performance for household odor control applications. Sold at garden centers and agricultural suppliers as a soil amendment for water retention and nutrient management. Also sold at aquarium supply stores as ammonia control media, typically labeled as natural zeolite or ammocarb. A 50-pound bag at a garden center costs $15 to $25. A 5-pound container at an aquarium store costs $8 to $12. Both are identical material at dramatically different price points per pound. For home use, the garden center purchase offers the best value at $0.30 to $0.50 per pound. Number 2, breathable mesh bags, natural fiber muslin pouches, or any open weave fabric container that allows air circulation. Mesh laundry bags, muslin cloth cut and tied into pouches, or simple cheesecloth work perfectly. The zeolite must be in contact with the air containing the odor molecules. A sealed container defeats the purpose entirely. Here is the application guide for common odor problems. For vehicle interior odor, including pet odor, smoke, food smell, and general must, place 2 to 3 pounds of zeolite in breathable bags distributed under the seats, in the cargo area, and in the footwells. Leave windows cracked to allow air circulation. Most vehicle odors are undetectable within 3 to 7 days of continuous zeolite exposure. For basement, crawl space, and mold odor, distribute zeolite in bags across the affected area at a rate of 1 pound per 50 square feet. Address the moisture source causing the mold simultaneously. Zeolite eliminates odor-causing compounds but does not prevent mold growth if moisture continues. For pet areas, including litter boxes, kennels, and pet bedding areas, place zeolite directly in or adjacent to the odor source. For litter box odor, mixing zeolite granules directly into the litter at a ratio of 1 part zeolite to 4 parts litter. For refrigerator and freezer odor, fill a small open container with zeolite and place on a shelf. Replace or recharge annually. For shoe and gym bag odor, fill a small mesh pouch with zeolite and place inside shoes or bags between uses. Zeolite can be recharged by placing it in direct sunlight for 4 to 6 hours or in an oven at 250 degrees for 1 hour. The heat drives the trapped odor molecules out of the pores, restoring the zeolite's adsorption capacity to near original levels. A properly maintained pound of zeolite can be recharged and reused for years before its crystalline structure degrades. Total cost for the system: approximately $15 in zeolite plus $2 in mesh bags. Replace or recharge annually. Compare that to $108 in annual recurring expenditure for air fresheners that just mask odors while zeolite eliminates them with sunshine. Some knowledge does not disappear because it failed. It disappears because the industry selling the inadequate alternative cannot survive the adequate one becoming common knowledge. Axel Frederick Kronstedt. Watching zeolite boil in 1756 was not an odor control engineer. He was a mineralogist documenting a physical property. The explanation came a century and a half later and confirmed that the boiling he had witnessed was evidence of a molecular scale cage structure, precisely engineered by geological processes over millions of years, that it could selectively capture specific molecules from a gas mixture with high efficiency. Efficiency that no human-engineered material has yet matched at equivalent cost. The Navy engineers who evaluated zeolite for submarine environmental control in 1943 were not concerned about the air freshener industry's revenue model. They were concerned about the operational effectiveness and quality of life of sailors who could not open a window. They chose the material that worked at the molecular level because their environment did not accommodate the fragrance mask. The pet odor molecule in your carpet right now does not know what Febreze costs. The ammonia compound from your cat's litter box does not know that the branded zeolite pouch at the pet store costs 40 times more per pound than the garden center bag. The zeolite pore does not distinguish between the molecule it is capturing from your premium environment and the molecule from your livestock truck. It captures what fits and holds it indefinitely, the same way it has been capturing molecules in volcanic formations for millions of years. Before anyone thought to sell it in a mesh bag with a scented label, the powder costs $1 per pound. The pores have been waiting since the Miocene. The odor molecule has nowhere else to go. If this vault changed how you look at the Febreze can under your sink, the car air freshener, or the basement odor, subscribe and share this with someone who deserves to know that the molecule is already trapped inside a volcanic mineral. The next vault opens soon.